So in your opinion, what are some challenges, barriers to make such thing happen, which I feel it's something really important to have, and we are
Mhm.
capable of doing so. So what are some challenges and what are some ways to make that happen?
Mhm. Mm, that's a very excellent description of what's really going on in our minds and in the Yazidi community. And if I can talk about my own experience, and I can just speak of my own experience, my personal experience, and I cannot speak of other experiences. But when I look at it, there's a lot of setbacks that hold us back when we try to make an impact in the Yazidi community. And you know, like about that one, you know, there needs to be a trust. You know, we would like to, you know, when there is a trust, when there is a collaboration, and how, like, let me talk about how we can create a collaborative community between the Yazidi and the young leaders. I know, like, some of the young, like, I don't want to like talk negatively about the old generation of the Yazidis, but to my idea, we have different generation. We have prior coming to US, post coming to US, and then the generation that are here have been here for a long time.
Yes.
So we have a conservative generation, and then the conservative generation, like my father, like my father, those are who have spent the rest of the most of their life in Iraq, and they were their ideas, their views, and their leadership, the way they think, have been heavily shaped by the Iraqi society,
Yeah.
by the Iraqi leadership. But to us who have been here for quite some times, we have been shaped by the ideas and values of the United States, of American values, how they operate, how they work together, how they can come together on meeting after meeting after meeting. What is all this going on? So it's us, like we are doing our best to we, like, when we go to universities, we understand that we talk about philosophy, we talk about leadership, communication, how to work in a teamwork, and how to talk about, okay, when you have a diverse team, how do you look at the context of communication? Is he a high context or a low context? Is he an individualistic or a collectivistic? Is he what about the time orientation? So we, as immigrants, we don't have to go to work in a team to experience that. We have it inside our house.
Yeah.
Like me, I have graduated from a community college and now the university. Now I know how I can communicate with my father, how I can be accepting to his ideas, while we can find a common ground to work together and move forward.
Yes.
And I believe, like, I've come up with an idea to help our youth, to empower our youth. And there's always, like, everyone that I've talked to in the Yazidi community, there is always one word that I hear every time. They don't work together. I can speak in Kurdish. So that's what they say. Like, this is what's happening. Like, every time I go to a different groups, they say, well, they don't work together. Okay, have we looked into this? Have we created some questions about why don't we work together? Okay, if we can create those questions and get together, saying that, okay, there was a group in the past, I trusted them, and then they broke my trust. Okay, that's one of the problems. And then a different person would come the same, and then we collect all these problems, and then, okay, we look at it, we put it on the board, and we look at it. Okay, this has been the most common problem that we have seen that are facing the Yazidi community, and these are the reasons why we are now working collaboratively. Okay, and then how can we move forward? Okay, to make sure that we move forward, we need to make sure that we create a trusting relationship, that we all trust each other. And how do we do that? Do we make sure that all needs, that we make sure that all needs are met, that we have transparency. When I mean by transparency, like everything we do is just obvious to the public. It's obvious to the Yazidi community, whether they speak English or not. They have the right to know what's going on in the nonprofit. They have the right to know why you're doing this job for them. One quote says, "You're only a good leader when your follower is as good as you."
Yeah.
So we need to invest in our followers. If you are a leader, you need to invest in our follower. I would prefer having a smart follower than someone who doesn't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So it's important that we invest in the people in the community in Lincoln, Nebraska, so they can be knowledgeable about what we are doing. When they're knowledgeable about our leadership, about our opportunities, about our work, they will know. They will not make assumptions. They will not listen to someone who can tell them, oh, this group is doing this and this group is doing that. No, because you are supported. You can go and find it your own self. You don't need to be oriented by someone other's idea. Like a lot of our Yazidis in the community, they're oriented by other people without them going after finding the information. Maybe I heard about you. Okay, that's good. Thank you for telling me that. But okay, I'm gonna go and have an interview with that group. Like this is the United States. You can do a survey, you can do an interview. There's a qualitative way of conducting research, and also there's a quantitative way of conducting research. And the community should know all of this. We have to make these resources available for them and easily accessible to our community, so they know about the work we do, about the way we fund things, about the way we do activities, about the way that everything is done, and also make a room for other people to be included. And when you have an open door for ideas, for different people to work on something, you are creating a diverse representation, and you're creating a diversity in working on a program. When you have a diversity of ideas, I know you will have challenges, but I would prefer rather to having challenges to work on than not being, rather than ignoring the challenges, which will lead to more isolation and, distrust and incohesiveness in the community. So all these things that I've mentioned here are important to create a supported, inclusive, and a building and a thriving community. We need to include everyone in whatever we do, because like when we center their voice, they will feel appreciated and valued. And only in that way we can, I know we can't solve every problem, but we can be as inclusive as possible, so we can help the greater good for the greater number of people. When we follow that, the greater happiness for the greater number of people, but you will never get, you will not make everyone happy, but you can try and make the most happy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, we cannot make everything happy, but at least we can do the right thing.